coming up to the last line of presentations for the day, but we're closing off with something really special. We have the how to use top-notch ad creatives to boost campaign performance, and this is by the lovely Gala Grigoreva. So please give her a huge round of applause. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. Well, there are not many listeners, but I really do appreciate you for joining me in this presentation on how to use top-notch ad creatives to boost your campaign. It's a great honor for me to be here, to speak here, and have such an audience, such an engaged audience. A few words about me. I'm Gala Grigoreva, the Chief Marketing Officer of Adsterra, a global advertising and CPA network based in Cyprus. With over 13 years of experience in marketing globally, I've specialized in various areas such as mobile apps, crypto projects, tech. Well, I've been in tech for 4 years, and I've also had the privilege of building high-performing marketing teams, and with these teams, we've launched a couple of multi-billion dollar IT products. From time to time, I serve as a jury member for different international marketing and advertising awards. And one of my greatest passions, aside from parenting and singing, is mentoring, because I love to inspire people to realize their full potential and achieve their goals. So I would call myself like a 4M person. I'm a mother, a marketer, a mentor, and a metalhead. So still, yeah, have a metal rules. And a few words. So I will walk you through quickly my agenda. So I'm going to talk about some key elements of top-notch ad creatives and how to match them to your product or service or offer. We're going to cover some essential metrics very quickly to monitor and manage, because I'm sure you probably know them. And of course, I'm going to show you a few beautiful examples of our social bar proprietary ad format and to showcase some case studies. There will be some numbers as well, for sure. And now a brief overview of Adsterra. For a decade already, and this summer we are literally celebrating 10 years of success. We've been connecting affiliates, webmasters, media buyers, and agencies across the world, mastering the art of matching traffic with offers in a profitable way. And our expertise spans various verticals such as VPN, utilities, software, entertainment, social apps, dating, e-commerce, mobile subscriptions. We also have our own partner care standards, which transformed into a unique partner care program. And these standards help us not only measure customer satisfaction, but also foster a growth mindset. And our managers are actively engaged in growing and improving our clients' businesses. We also have our CPA network, Adsterra CPA network, with selected offers from our direct advertisers. And our clients can choose between the self-serve platform, which is advanced but still easy to use, or you can have a managed account and we can do just everything for you. Speaking about our specifics, we work with a wide choice of ad formats like on-click, pop-unders, native ads, in-page, push, interstitials, and as I've already mentioned, social bar ads. Different pricing models like CPM, CPA, CPC, CPI, CPL, and so on. On our self-serve platform, you can find more than 20 targeting options. And we also work, we have a real-time bidding option as well. And different tools like optimization bidding tools, which you can use to save a bit and get more conversions and sales. And of course, for our bigger partners, we have an API for flawless integration. So I would like to say that Adsterra has a global reach with a local focus. So how do we differ from the rest of other networks? We have industry-specific expertise, so we are working with really specific verticals. And our policy towards these verticals is friendly and also towards beginners. So we work with beginning webmasters and affiliate marketers. And you can also choose from different third-party trackers that are integrated with us and get access to our best practices like creatives, landers, pre-landers, and so on, because we have an in-house design studio and we may help you create all this. And of course, you can get accessible expert support working with your personal manager or from our support teams as well. Adsterra has been for a decade known for its massive and high-quality Tier 1 traffic. But over the last years, we are detecting massive and also high-quality traffic from the new prime tier countries like India, China, South Africa. When we've got the introductions out of the way, let's dive into the exciting world of top-notch ad creatives. But first, let me ask you a question. When was the last time when you click intentionally on an ad? Maybe on a banner? Just raise your hands. No, never. Never. Oh, it was a long time ago. Long time ago, yeah. The same for me, but it's like a professional habit. I like mentioning something, especially if the banners are those of competitors, but otherwise it's not working actually. And yeah, the internet is overflowing with all kinds of content, and that content and the overabundance of ads has led to the majority of population developing a sort of immunity. So they have learned to not pay attention to places where ads are typically placed. And we call it selective blindness. So this phenomenon is known as selective blindness, but in the digital advertising world, it came to be known like banner blindness. Well, because banners were the first to hit it big and like the first ad format to become somewhat obsolete, actually. So today we see, and this research also can show us, and numerous researchers have shown us that people, well, users and website visitors have learned to ignore even video ads and some forms of native advertising. So to call it banner blindness is no longer available. We can call it like ad blindness. So what we can do to overcome ad blindness, it's not really easy. And here we may have like two strategies, short-term and long-term strategies. So what about short-term solutions? You can for sure optimize for mobile. And there are still a lot of publishers and ad networks that haven't caught up with the mobile craze yet. So don't be like them. And it's very difficult to, for example, reach iOS users. So you have to be mobile adaptable, mobile friendly. But the mobile market will eventually fail to, stand the challengers of the ad blindness problem. So what you can do, you can change up your ad placement. For example, if you see that your ads are not receiving as much attention as they received previously, you can play with some placements on your site or your publisher's website. But you have to adjust your ads to these places. For example, if you want to put something right in the middle of your website, it should be native and relevant to the content. What we can do as well is to customize our ads. Well, there are actually two ways about it. First, you can make your ads as native as possible. And the second is you can, for example, use sizes or colors that are so outlandish that can grab attention of your audience just immediately. So these are short terms because no matter where you place your ads or how you customize them, your users, your target audience will eventually get used to it. Speaking about the long-term strategy, well, I have to make a disclaimer that unfortunately there is no quick solution to defeat ad blindness, and you know it. But still, what we can do is to research, and research. Because if you know the market well, if you know your target audience's needs, you can not only change, you can not only react to changes very quickly, but predict some changes at times. And the best tactic here would be to follow the latest trends and monitor your competition. Just to try to stay a bit ahead, like a step ahead of your competitors. And I think it's very important. The next point is investing in right ad formats. There are some ad formats that weather the storms of ad blindness, in all times, like Smart Link or Adsterra's direct link. So we have such a link which you can insert into a button, into a word or widget or banner, it doesn't matter. And your users just don't have to choose whether they want to see your ads or not. So they will use your content in a friendly way, like their normal browsing experience, and they will see your ads. But still, what if you just don't need to use a direct link, so you don't need it? You can grab some effective ad formats that feel true, like a natural and native to your users, that are natively integrated in your users' flow, users' browsing experience. And the next point is trusted sources, traffic sources. So you'd better work with ad networks that invest in innovations, because prominent and reputable ad networks have R&D departments that develop ad formats and constantly improve them. It's like Adsterra, of course. It's not a surprise here. What else we can do? I'm going to talk about some key elements of top-notch ad creatives, and I'm sure that some of you may have, some cases when really bad-looking ads converted like crazy. So I had it in my experience as well, but it's not the case for each and every campaign. So let's just focus a bit on the following points. Clear objectives. Well, clearly defining objectives may help to create focused and effective advertisements. If you want to boost website traffic or increase your sales or generate leads or increase brand awareness, whatever, having a specific goal in mind will help do it. For example, if you want to generate more leads, you'd better insert like a lead capture form and a concise incentive to make your users share your contact information. Understanding your target audience is crucial as well, and you know it, of course. So by identifying the demographics, the interests and preferences of your audience may help tailor your messaging to resonate with your audience. Crafting compelling and persuasive messages is another important key element. And creatives come hand in hand with your ad copy. So your ad copy should highlight the unique value proposition of your product or service, address pain points, and offer solutions. Your ad copy should be brief and clear. For example, talk about value, as I've already mentioned. For example, you can use free up to 80% of your phone storage instead of a powerful phone storage, a powerful phone cleaner. So it depends, and the more value, the more importance you will stress in your ad creatives, the better. Speaking about eye-catching visuals, you know that the quality of your visuals, the quality of your ad creatives reflects the quality of your brand and the value of your offer. So we are talking here about crisp, clear images well-produced videos and graphics that appeal to your users. So I see actually a lot of affiliate marketers and advertisers using badly cropped images and pixelated icons and blurred videos, so it's not good. Well, you may receive some clicks, but speaking about conversions, no. I mean that there will be no trust to your brand, obviously. And strong calls to action. Well, of course, strong calls to action is another key element, and you will receive, they may help, strong calls to action may help you convert visitors, convert leads into real customers. So what do your users want from ads? They want ads to be native like smartphone interfaces and software, be transparent but non-intrusive like push notifications, for example, or chat heads, stay neat and responsive and not visually overload, entertain and fascinate, and offer multimedia experience, and load fast. Just please raise your hands who agree with these statements. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Well, because I think that some statements can be, like contradictory, can be a bit conflicting, and not everyone would agree. But still, I would assure you that social bar ads comply with all these statements at the same time, and we can see it in numerous case studies. So I'm going to show you a few beautiful examples of social bar ads, speaking about my next point of presentation, how to match ad creatives to your ad product. Let's start with VPNs, cleaners, and antiviruses, which is very popular and works really cool with Adsterra. VPNs are aimed at protecting users' devices, first of all, and keeping their browsing history. So here we can use, and for example, iOS users will definitely expect your ads to be as native as possible, to be neat and uncluttered. So we can see that here you'd better use some sort of notifications, like icon notification, and you can use an icon. It can be animated sometimes, and you can also have a larger picture if you want. And here we better talk about the value, like privacy protection, data safety, productivity increase, and it would be cool if you can mention the VPN's recommendations or rating, and if you, for example, can mention the model of the device, so we can set it up at Adsterra. Yeah, if you advertise antiviruses, just stress what kind of risks and dangers your users will face. And speaking about the software vertical, it normally covers all types of desktop ads. So pictures here, your ad creatives can be even larger than in the last example. And we can also mention the browser, and we can make the colors and branding just look very similar to the operating system and to the model as well. Here we have as a custom widget of the social bar, and you can also use, for example, interstitials, which is also a part of the social bar format. Dating and social app offers. Instead of the icon, which we had in the last example when I was talking about VPNs, here it's better to use a photo of a real person. So don't go into, those overused photo stocks and some glossy magazines photos. The more natural the photo of the girl or boy would be, the better. You can use some not overused stocks, or like boom pics, for example, or Unsplash, or maybe some models, or it doesn't matter. And here we have some templates on the self-serve platform, which may look like really popular social networks and messengers, and some of them you can see here. And there can be like a question. You can use a question to engage in the dialogue and to make your ad creative more clickable so that to give you higher CTRs. And for example, you can also mention the name of a girl or a boy, as I've said. So here you can see the icon, well, the photo of the girl, and it can be animated as well. And it can be just one new message line, or several dots running like somebody's typing something at this moment. It works really cool. So if your ad creatives look like somebody's thinking of your users as of the best match, that would be really great. And you can just adapt all the elements of your ad creative to that. For gaming offers, it's essential to create a feel, of excitement and thrill of the game. So if you can give a sneak peek to a game, create an impression of being there, touch and taste it, your CTRs will skyrocket. So here we're talking about some maybe immersive gameplay footage, or you can add some dynamic animation like game characters in motion. And of course your ads should be really vivid colors and striking imagery. So dynamic, these ads can be dynamic as well. So this is just to show you how they can look in static, because both options work really well. You can also provide some secret rewards and bonuses to entice players as well. And for these vertical video teasers, you can see it in the middle of this slide. It's a video teaser of the social bar, which is really effective, because they can open up on the screen, and we can see it a bit later. But it works like a in-page push, so it doesn't attach to any video player, which is really nice. iGaming offers. Well, here the best solution would be to think about the stories of real life winners. So how they look like, if they provide payment proofs, so you can use it in your ad creatives. And it would be cool if you could combine some bright colors and dynamics with the branding guidelines, like the visual identity of the brand. iGaming offers, online casinos, betting, well, we can advertise them like this. So we can add like a dynamic lever to pull, or a slot machine screen, and it can, like play with the colors and really convert well. And also we can, promise some bonuses and some rewards for the players. E-commerce offers. Well, can you raise your hand who work with their e-commerce, the e-commerce vertical? Oh, great. So maybe it will be useful for you. Well, you will probably know that with e-commerce, as we want to tease our audiences with discounts and maybe cashbacks, and we can also indicate the amount of the discount, or we can put some information about free shipping if it's applicable. That would be a good idea to indicate the scarcity, for example, 10 items left, or the urgency, for instance, sale ends in 2 days or something. And these ads can be static and dynamic as well. So sometimes you should mind your audience, because your ad creatives may, for example, refer to the environment of luxurious minimalism, if we were talking about some fashion week, for example. But sometimes it can be just very simple sale widgets, or that speak about the best bargain. So it's going to be just sale and that's all, and that would work really well. Sweepstake offers, well, they will rock forever, I guess, because there are just thousands and thousands of fortune hunters across the world, and you can influence them with CTAs like spin the wheel, test your luck, claim reward, or get 10 welcome bonuses or something like this. But don't mislead here, don't cheat on people. It's very obvious, but still you can get really high CTRs, but no conversions at all. So it's very important to match your ad creatives to the product or service you're working with. And sometimes designing takes careful consideration of the target audience and the advertising formats available. And of course, I'd like to emphasize the importance of compliance, like of consistency of the whole chain. When you have an ad creative, a pre-lender, a landing page, and the offer itself. So sometimes we see that, for example, our advertisers use really cool ad creatives. They can take some templates from the self-serve platform, but then they just go to a poor-looking pre-lender, and that doesn't work. So they will lose just those users. The next part of my presentation is dedicated to essential metrics, but I'm sure you know these three basics. It's just for you to understand and maybe to remind you that CTRs, well, of course, it's cool when you have a really high CTR like social bar ads have between 10 to 30%, but it's not your final goal, because our final goal is to grow our conversions and have a positive ROI, and the greater, the better. So your ad creatives, of course, can be clickable, and they may help you increase conversions over time especially. But when they work together with the pre-lender and the landing page and the offer to increase your ROI, that would be really great. So if you see that you are getting increased sales or reduced acquisition costs or increasing lifetime value, then you will get a great ROI and overall business growth. You will see the business growth as well. Well, you've seen some examples of the social bar right now. I'm gonna give you a bit more details about social bar. What we have here on the self-serve platform, you will see three categories: in-page push, custom widget, and icon notification templates with 20+ skins. They may look like system notifications or messenger notifications, or you can add, as you've seen, a video teaser. We can help you create it, or you can do it on your own, or you can insert your pictures to see how it looks like right on the self-serve platform. And it's also possible to add up to 15 creatives at a time to check which ones work better performing. And I really recommend doing it. So the more ad creatives you use, the better. You can do A/B tests with not only social bar, but some other ad formats with Adsterra. But this format is really unique because we can offer full customization for our managed partners. So you can create it of any size, any configuration, or transparency. So it can look like time counters, which is very cool for e-commerce vertical. And you can, of course, enjoy all the advanced targeting options like operating system, browser version, mobile carrier, IP range, and so on and so forth. So with social bar ads, we empower our partners to create a new visual experience to trigger their users to engage them into the dialogue and receive really cool marketing results. So we can see how the video teaser is working on this slide. Well, we actually had to replace the original footage because it's confidential. Well, a lot of things actually is confidential if we're talking about results and some real examples, real ad creatives. But still, it's very similar looking actually, and you can see how it works, and the button as well, the CTA. And this one, I took it from the e-commerce campaign. Time counters are very popular for our e-commerce advertisers. So it can look really dynamic but pretty simple actually. Claim your coupon. And now a few words about some numbers. So I've just I've taken a few campaigns that we had with pop-unders and banners, and we have relaunched them, live in the same settings, but we have received 6% conversion rate compared to 3% with POPs. So we've been using social bar with the VPN and utility offer. And with the e-commerce offer, we got 12% CTR compared to 0.8% with banners. And for the entertainment offer, it was plus 35% CR compared with banners. And there was also an interesting case provided by one of our affiliates. This is a solopreneur affiliate who was working with the Josh app. So it was an offer of a Josh app. It is a very popular social media app in India. He actually took some pretty standard templates right from the self-serve platform. And it was a CPI for mobile and Android, and the payout for each installation was $0.13. And his tactic was CPC bidding with a really small bid, so minimum bid, but maximum creatives per test. So he managed to somehow pick up the best performing templates, and he also used our custom bid tool for optimization to grab more traffic from best performing placements and to decrease traffic from worst performing places. And his CTR was 6% and ROI reached 150.8%. So it's just like a few numbers, and I'm sure that our managers can provide even more numbers, actually. And now are some bonus parts, our best practices. So I'm going to share some Adsterra's best practices with you. Maybe some of them will be obvious, but still really useful to remind of them. Don't use just one creative for all your campaigns. As I've said, the more creatives for your test, the better. We at Adsterra add from 2 to 4 creatives, like variations of an ad per each campaign to test them. And also make sure that your creatives don't look cheap. So as I've said, high quality images and videos are necessary. We have to impress our target audience. Here you can work closely with your manager, personal manager, or support teams that can give you, an access to the trendy ad creatives, and they can be they can stay within the agenda, for example, the forthcoming holidays or events. Or speaking about the direct advertisers, if you work with your direct advertiser, you can ask for high quality photos of the products and services, or maybe logos, etc., etc. And I also recommend using spy tools. I'm sure you probably use them, but remember that each second, thousands of affiliates examine the very same ideas and creatives and use them. So spy tools and creative storages would help just to understand trends, or may give you a few marketing tips you may use in your own ad creatives, but don't just copy them. Use it to get some inspiration. Another important practice is don't miss typos and grammar mistakes. Well, it may happen to everyone. We can make mistakes, it's pretty normal, but even one mistake can, push our audiences off. So what we can do here is just spend more or allocate 15, 20 minutes to check everything, especially the brand names. It's very important. And of course, using grammar checkers will also help. It's very easy. And it's especially important when we are talking about translation into other languages, especially not very, typical for our own language. For example, for me, Arabic or some Asian languages would be completely different. So I have to check it with the native speaker, how it looks for them. Also make sure that your ads are selling and engaging. So you don't have to be, a brilliant copywriter to engage your audience and so forth to make it sell. Just put yourself in your audience's, place and try to think of the triggers that would work for you. So will you buy it? Will you click on this ad? You can also check it with your closest ones, with your colleagues maybe. Refresh and retest the old creatives. There are actually no specific rules how often we should refresh our creatives. Well, we know that, every 2 weeks would work really well, or maybe every month or so. But sometimes when there are multiple campaigns on air, it's just impossible to make some global updates and edits. So what we can do here is just when we see that CTRs are dropping and our creatives are no longer receiving their previous, attention and no longer having their previous success, you may just forget about them. Just forget about them for several months. And when there will be a new significant portion of new users, new traffic slices, just try them again. If it doesn't work, you can do that in several months. You can have just like your own base of creatives and pre-landers and landing pages. And if they are burned out, or you can, put them aside and try something else and then get back to them. It's really good and it works when you retest at creatives as well. Catch up with the agenda. Well, it's really cool when, for example, something is coming like Christmas, Thanksgiving, championship, etc., etc., and you can use it in your ad creatives. For example, I don't know, sportswear sale ends in, 2 days. You can use it like Thanksgiving sportswear sale. It just attracts people, some more attention will be given to your ads. Personalized ads by using dynamic text. We at Adsterra can provide this option when you, for example, for instance, you are working with dating, or for you it's important to mention the city or the country in your ad creative. So you can use it, the dynamic tag, to change the information on your ad creatives. So you launch campaigns for several countries or for several cities, and when users see, meet pretty girls in your city, it's one thing. But then when they see meet pretty girls in Lisbon, it's another one, it works really better. Keep the balance between great CTRs and further CRs. As I've already mentioned, it's really important to pay attention not only to CTRs, but conversions there, is king. And some common mistakes here. So when we have no creative translation to local languages, it's bad. For example, just one example from our experience when we targeted campaigns for Canada using 10 in-page push creatives. We checked that the population is about 37 million, as I remember correctly, and about 67% of Canadians speak English, 22% speak French, and the rest 11% speak other languages. So we used 7, 8 creatives in English, 3, 4 creatives in French. So the English creatives were used with no language targeting, just like, on a global scale. But French creatives were used with the language targeting, so we put it in our settings. And that actually worked. So it's important to match the headline and the ad copy to the country, to the audience. Sometimes we may think that, well, people will, willingly consume ad creatives in English because, well, it's a universal language. But a true pro will have some alternative ad creatives localized for sure. There might be a mismatch between the languages of a creative and a lander or a pre-lander. It really happens very often when your ad copy is in English, for example, or in French, but your lander is in English, so it won't work for sure. Creatives don't match the final landing page. Here I'm talking about not the language, but the vertical, for example. Sometimes the affiliate marketer works with different verticals, and for example, his creatives might be about VPNs or, I don't know, software, but he puts the URL of the e-commerce pre-lander. And here we have a mismatch, and it's such a pity. We may, spend a lot of money on that, so we should be wise about our budgets and pay attention to the target URLs and how they match with our ad creatives. And also misleading that returns high CTRs but zero conversions is also pitiful. Well, sometimes we may mislead by mistake. For example, incorrect promo codes, or wrong dates of seasonal sales or limited offers. Sometimes we may promise, it might be like cheating when we may promise something that users won't see on the landing page or won't even ever get. So it's not good because there are actually some legal, well, I would say white solutions that we may use, paying attention to the FOMO, fear of missing out technique, or for example, minding that people like reading, the latest gossips, or for example, they want to get, well, they strive for the best bargain. So when we better use this technique, better using these white techniques instead of just misleading. So these were some common mistakes, and here we can see some examples, like when creatives don't match the final landing page. It's just a real life example. And here we have misleading that returns high CTRs but zero conversions, you see. Talking about matching ad creatives and designing top-notch ad creatives, I would emphasize that it requires some careful, planning, creativity, and an proper understanding of your target audience, their needs and preferences. So at least trying to apply these key elements and best practices we use at Adsterra, minding some common mistakes I've just shared with you, may really help you boost your campaign performance, and this is what I'm wishing you. Thanks a lot for your attention. It was really great having you here today, and I think that we have an hour or so until the end of the exhibition, so I would like to welcome you all to our booth ME32, and you can also scan this QR code to get in touch with me, maybe to get some details of how to start working with us, how to get the best personal manager in Adsterra as well. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions or if you want to share any thoughts, just please welcome.
I just wanted to ask about what are the most popular social platforms that you're counting on now?
Well, TikTok offers worked really great. Yeah, we had a lot of interest in TikTok offers, and we also work with publishers. So we were talking about advertisers and affiliate marketers launching campaigns, but we have a huge number of publishers working with social traffic, and they drive traffic from Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. So yeah, it converts really well. I mean that the users from social media are more engaged and interested in the offers we run with this type of traffic.
One more question. You mentioned
Sweepstakes, yeah.
Okay, and sometimes they're considered illegal in some countries.
Yeah.
So how do you go around that?
Well, we work actually with these countries where it's legal, so it's up to the advertiser to use them or not. We can check it, of course, and if we receive some, abuse requests or something, of course, we handle it. But so far, we haven't had any problems with this, frankly speaking, yeah. And we've been on the market for 10 years already. Yeah, so, unfortunately, or I don't know, luckily, this vertical is still very popular. Yeah. Thank you. Any more questions? So maybe you would like to share your own experiences? Okay, then. Yeah, thank you so much. And please join us at our booth. Thanks a lot. I have some business cards here, so if you want to exchange business cards, just please come to me. Thank you so much.